Darien, Connecticut is one of many quaint New England towns which dot the shores of Long Island Sound. They care about the environment in Darien, with its bird sanctuaries, land trusts, biking trails, and clean streets. There is a strong sense of community here, which helps when the town decides to extend their love of the environment to its buildings. Like its library, which opened its doors to the public in 2009. When town folks walked through its doors for the first time, very few realized that more than the dazzle of the most modern technological conveniences, the library planners made it a LEED certified building. In other words, they went green.
I was drafting the narrative and just very casually threw in that we would hope to have built a LEED building. And it was just a throwaway line. And it was probably just because that was coming into people's ken. And that stayed there. It was 3 years later or so that we got sufficiently into the planning for the new building that we thought, well, we ought to actually consider what building a LEED building would be and what the environmental consequences of that would.
To help ensure that the essential guidelines for a green building were met, Dot Kelly, a local resident with an environmental background, was put on the board.
Well, my job on the board came about because I was a director of energy and environmental for a big chemical company. And I had certainly worked with contaminated sites. I was in charge of hazardous waste disposal. And anyone who was in Darien in 2003 knows that this site, the library site, was shut down with big tape around it. Don't go anywhere near here, because the gas station that was here had a major leak. And the telephone company was doing work in their junction box that's just on the corner. The gentleman's lower explosion limit detector went off. That means there's vapors in there that could kill you if you stay in that kind of level. And you know, what was it? It was gas. It was clearly coming from the gas station. They shut the gas station down. This eyesore in Darien until the library bought this property as opposed to another and said this and the car wash next door to it are going to be the new are going to be the new library. And so that takes some guts.
Ground was broken in March 2007. Going green put the library at its forefront of a revolution that is changing the way we live and work. In less than a year after the library opened its doors, it was awarded the coveted Gold LEED certificate, the most widely used green rating system in the world, and it became one of the top 10 libraries for its size in the country. This gave every staff member a feeling of personal ownership and pride in the library they work in every day.
So welcome to the basement of 1441 Post Road. This site used to be a gas station and a car wash. And as you can imagine, the chemicals from those types of structures leach into the soil and pollute their surrounding area. Part of our LEED initiative, we had to remediate that site. Another significant step that we took was to put in what's called a geothermal system. In a geothermal system, we have a series of wells. In our case, those are outside in our parking lot, that pull groundwater up, pump them into the building and over to a heat exchanger. And over at the heat exchanger, water that we pumped in from the outside meets up with water that circulates throughout the building. Water that we pump in from outside is around 55 degrees, and that means that in the summer, we can cool down the water that circulates through the building and helps cool us the building, and in the winter, we can help warm up that water and help warm the building. That saves us a significant amount on energy costs throughout the year.
Green isn't only about heating and cooling, it's got more legs than that. The very materials used in building this library, the tiles, the paint, the carpeting, were all intentionally chosen to be environmentally friendly and to reduce impact on the surrounding area. Another example of what we mean by green can be found here in our Technology Center. If you walk around the library, you won't find many of these towers laying around anymore. A few years ago, we decided to switch to 0 clients, which, on top of being easier to manage, also consume a lot less energy. Part of the efficiency of using thin clients can be found here in our server room. Not too long ago, all of our staff and public computers were run off of traditional towers. Now, about 60 of those computers have been replaced by thin clients, which all run off of a few servers here.
Sally Iams, a 9-year veteran and head of knowledge and learning services, has perhaps the greatest interest in all things green.
Sally is on our staff far and away the most committed person to green initiatives. She does it just because it comes naturally to her. She's not the only one on our staff, but Sally's taken on the responsibility of making sure that this library fits a profile of a building and a group of people who are doing the right thing in an environmental way. Sally's the one that's gone out and looked in garbage cans and stuff like that and counted things. I would have been deterred from doing some of the things that she has done. Where the rubber meets the road, it takes someone as committed as Sally to do that.
About a year ago, walking around the building, I realized that while the town of Darien was a single-stream town, we have that capability, the library was not single-stream, and all of our trash was going into one bin, one bucket, and it was trash. And I realized that we had an opportunity to recycle on a much larger scale, not just the traditional paper, which is what we've been doing with paper and cardboard. We're good at paper and cardboard, but everything else, we weren't there. What would it take for us to go single stream? And that's where I met the people on the single stream committee for the town of Darien, and they gave me all the information and encouragement you could possibly imagine. So we started out by taking the building single stream, both in the offices in the back and also publicly. So we are the first building in town to have single stream recycling on a public level. So it means that everybody that uses the building gets the opportunity to sort their trash, to really think before they toss.
The green revolution doesn't end with what's done inside a building. Sally was chosen to spearhead a project whose purpose was to educate the public about environmental issues. It was to be a joint project between the library and various community organizations concerned about the environment. This effort would eventually lead to a special 2-hour event, and its success would depend on the solid relationship between the community and the library. The planning took a year.
So here's the inside skinny. I just had a meeting with the Single Stream Recycling Committee at Town Hall, and the committee is totally pumped, and we're looking for something to do for Earth Day. What we have in mind is a program to be held at the library on a Sunday, either before or after Earth Day, which is on April 22nd. And what we want to do is have some kind of a festival type atmosphere where we introduce all sorts of green initiatives that the library has, that the town has, a chance for people to come in and learn more about single stream recycling, and also we want to try and pull in all the green organizations within the town of Darien.
Oh, I love it.
And give them a chance to really strut their stuff. So, what do you think?
I love it. I think it makes sense for us, especially with our LEED certification. Part of that.
So Sally Iams, our head of knowledge and learning services, brought this idea to my head months ago, maybe about a year ago, about doing a green festival that was hyper-local. And we say hyper-local, which means Darien organizations all involved. We got involved with the Single Stream Recycling Committee, and what is happening on April 19th is what we are calling All Things Green. We're running around the library doing a scavenger hunt. We're featuring some of our green organizations here in town. So the Land Trust will be here, the Beautification Commission, the Garden Club. We're trying to make it so it's a town-wide event that will happen every year.
On Sunday the 19th, we have a great event that's coming up, which will give an opportunity for all of these organizations to share what they do with the community, and also for the library to highlight everything that we do that's green, in addition to single stream recycling.
anytime we can get town organizations involved, I think is a plus. The more we all work together, I think the better outcome we'll have.
I'm Eileen Smith. I'm with the Tree Conservancy in Darien. We're an organization that we founded in 2010, and our goal is to educate the town about the importance of trees, protect our trees, and put in new trees on public property.
Part of the process is to have the people from town contribute merchandise that they are looking to get rid of, and rather than putting it into the waste stream cycle, they bring it back to the Boy Scouts. We repurpose it and sell it at our tag sale. It keeps the trash out of the waste stream, and at the same time it raises money for the scouting program here in town.
Hi, I'm Cindy Ryan, and I'm here at a table for the Darien Community Association's Bird Sanctuary. It's a 4-acre area at the DCA that we have turned into an area of native plants, and we have removed invasives and set a trail up and planted a lot of things that hopefully will attract a lot of birds.
Single stream, after we pick it up from Darien and other towns, it's brought to our facility. Everything is sorted and it's baled separately. Bottles, cans, plastics, paper, cardboard, everything is baled separately, and it's shipped to end users.
So what is on the table is resources and ideas for encouraging adults, children in particular, this is sort of children oriented, in encouraging them to spend time outside.
We do partner with the library on numerous events.
Programs. We do films here. A couple of times a year we'll have films that are related to our work.
This is a box turtle, which is a native species in Connecticut, species of special concern actually. Their populations are declining, but if you see this in your yard, you'll know you've got yourself a box turtle. As if you look on the bottom of it, they have this hinge here, which allows them to close their shell.
Whereas the Darien Library, from its Leeds Gold building, continues to lead by example, introducing Book Bike and launching the website greendarien.org. Now therefore I, Jamie J. Stevens, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby declare April 19th, 2015 to be All Things Green. Congratulations very much. Thank you on behalf of the town.
Sally, how did you do today? I mean, what do you think? How do you feel?
Fabulous. Best day ever. We have had a great turnout, and everything has gone exactly as we wanted to. We'll see you later. It has been absolutely terrific. It met and exceeded our expectations, and we figured out what we want to do for next year. So this will be the first annual All Things Green Day, which is exciting, and we're looking forward to next year too. Already.
The town of Darien benefited greatly by building an environmentally safe and energy-efficient building. As a community, they did not settle for second best. Deciding to go green will be felt for generations to come, every time they walk through its doors.